Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be exploring with you some Linux bash commands, but the main purpose is actually to run system commands from C programs or C++ programs. There are some really nice Linux commands here. Well, especially command line utility. You've got the grep, the awk, and a newer version gawk. Also, set. It's a stream editor. And in the C program, you have the popen and the system call, Linux Unix utility function. Now, what I'm going to do is to grab IP address from my system, my terminal, and outputting, the IP address only with all these commands using the C program. So maybe calling ping later. So, but let's start exploring some of these commands, and we'll have looks. So I've got the directory created already, and it's got nothing there. So let's try to get the IP address. So I've got that. So I've got the main thing here I want is the 192.168.199.100, and discarding the the broadcast and the masks and all the other useless information, so that I could call this IP, this command. So let's see how we can do that. So if we output the command, we've got a lot of information that we don't need, but Linux is really good because it has you can pipe information output onto the next program and onto the next program until you get the desired output. And so what we can do is first we'll run the grep, which is a command line utility for searching plain text data sets, matching with regular expression, but it is quite simple. So if I want to find anything that has an inet address, where none of these are available in the chunks of text. So if I grab anything that has that, I'll be able to grab these three lines, this one and this line and also this line. So let's see what we can do. Inet address. So what we get is we try to match the inet, this matching expression, to anything that's in there that has this wording. So these are the three lines, but this is really useless because there's so many other information that we don't need. What can we do? What we can do is we can use awk to try to filter even more information. And what awk does, okay, so this is awk. It's an interpreted programming language used as data extraction and reporting tool. And usually you have a command, a command and also a condition and also the action. So what we want to do is to find, because in every line there's only one column, so that makes it really easy. What we can do is we'll just find the column and attempt to print whatever that's available as a second field, okay, and see what happens. Oh, sorry, this should be a $sign. So what this does is it prints the second field onwards, second field, partitioning this from the first and the second. So if we print 1, what we get is inet address. So if we print 2, based on that, that partitions these two fields. So that's the number 2 and that's number 1. And what that does is it gives us the the rest of the partition, actually from here to here. Okay, because that one is also a partition. So what we can do next is to try to use awk. From this we want to output just the first column. So what we can do is let's print the first column, and what we have now, okay, is that it prints just that column. But what about these two here? Okay, well, maybe we can explore a little bit kind of a different command. We could use set, for example, but this will be a really long command. Using the swap. Let's say we swap with nothing, what we get is that disappearing. And we could also put in this. So what when it finds this particular pattern, you replace it with whatever is within this pattern. Okay, so if I replace them with S, what comes out is the S, but we don't want that. So but this is not the best, most elegant piping to do. So we have really we have other commands. Now what we can do is is to try to get some commands working. For example, we could let's explore this further. So if I do an echo hello world and I do a grep world, okay, it's showing me that it's finding that. If I use a set, okay, and I want to replace world with internet, and it replaces that. Okay, if I want to replace world with nothing, then it outputs that. With awk, if I let's say we print this is a command, like Java or C usually enclose the command within the curly bracket. Print the first column of whatever comes out from echo hello world, then we get hello. This is quite quite useful, but we really want to grab just the IP, and so let's try to explore this again. So if I get ifconfig and I want to find that particular pattern, inet address, okay, and that works. So I'm going to go on to finding a pattern with awk. Say I know that I want a particular address, and that's 192. So awk finds that particular pattern and prints. Okay, let's try that. The first column from that, and we'll see. Right, so the first column found in 192 is inet. What if we print the second? Well, that gives us a much better filter. So if we use set to replace address with the colon with nothing, then we get the right address, and that's really useful, So and that's one way of getting the IP address, because you know there are various variables you could grab from the system call, but you know the point is to explore these pipe tools, utility tools. Now what we can do next is to try to program something useful. I'm going to just save this in my shared folder. Okay, I've got a C bash script, and that's the folder we are in. C bash is the file we want to program. We'll just put it as C file. There are a few libraries that we have to import because of this command. So you've got the stdio.h and the stdl library. We have to also import the output file. So I'm going to just include iostream followed by and also just going to include a few because we need to use them, and for string manipulation. Okay, we're going to use the namespace so that we don't have to type so much. And the starting of a C program, these are quite standard. Return 0 anyways. Okay, now what we want to do is to actually use the well, actually we can use the system call. Okay, we'll try this first. System, and we want to call say ifconfig from the system file. Okay, so we're going to save this and let's compile this perhaps with an output file C bash, for example. And that's great. So if we call it, it's going to give us this command. So system is a system call that gives us, that allows us to use, to call bash commands from the from a C program, and that's great. But but system call doesn't actually stream the file, the output to us. We could, for example, stream it to ip.text. We could do that, and later read in ip.text so that we can process those information. So for example, if I compile that, and so it's capturing everything into ip.text, and what we can do is to pipe the output into that file again. So what we can do is, we can just repeat those commands. Um, okay, let's just find the INET address, and then we're gonna use awk to find that pattern and have it print out. I remember that's 2 in the second column, and I'll have to close that. Now, you know, using the double quote at the front allows us to use the single quote in the middle, and that makes it easier. And later I'm going to just change the address to nothing. Okay, so that should basically output the right IP address. We'll save it. Right, let's compile this. Okay, right, that's wrong. That is so wrong. Okay, now we're fine. And let's just call cbash. Okay, let's look at our IP. Right, okay, so this file has the IP address, but the problem is we have to read in this file again, and that's a lot of trouble. So what we're going to do is not to actually use the system, but to use the file stream. We'll call a buffer, and we know that our IP address wouldn't be much more than 256. You know, it's actually not, you know, not a lot more than 16 digits, or perhaps more, but we'll just use 256 because we've got lots of memory. Now, what we're going to do here is to actually use the popen. Okay, it receives a constant character command and the type, and notice that we can have it stream out. So let's try to get this working. If this doesn't work, then we close the program, but if it works, we'll let it continue. So what I'm going to do is just a copy, and that makes it easier. Now we don't really need to output it to text again. Okay, okay, so that's the first one, the second one, and we need a third one. Okay, so if this doesn't work, then we just return 0 and the program exits. But if it works, it continues, and we've got the file stream in here. So in order to read the file stream, we'll just use fgets, and you can search for fgets to find the command. Read everything that's inside the in stream. Okay, and we'll just try to output it. Okay, so what this does is it reads in right here and stores them as a character string until the buffer size is over, or until it finds a new line or an end of file. Okay, and the nil indicates that there is still another line in the stream from popen. So if there are various lines, various rows, there's 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows. If there are more rows in the file, for example, if I run ifconfig, if there's so many rows, row 1, 2, 3, 4, it will keep output the buffer. If not, it will end. So what happens after that is we close the in stream. Okay, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's remove IP, and we will compile this. I'm just lazy. Okay, and we'll just run the C bash file. So it's outputting the right IP address, and notice that no file has been, there isn't any ip.txt file, and that shows that the program works. Now, what we can do to call the ping, to call ping from the IP we grab is to actually let's just create a character file. Okay, so let's say I want to call this a command. It's a string of character, and well, maybe 5. Okay, maybe we'll have 5, because let me tell you something. Ping. Okay, I'll have it 5, and I want to create a command string that I can call. Okay, and okay, so what I'd really like to do is to create another command for ping, and let's just put more characters in there. Okay, and I'm gonna copy the buffer. Okay, we'll just do 2 copy. First, we'll copy ping. Okay, we'll copy ping, which is okay. I haven't defined that yet, so let's 5 characters with a space. I'm sorry, and let's terminate it. Okay, so I'm copying these characters into this string, and then I create a command ping, and I'm copying ping, which is this, to the command ping, and I'm copying the buffer containing the IP address into cm ping. Okay, so, and what we can do next, okay, maybe we'll just output and see what we get. Ping. Okay, so let's save this, compile it. Oh, right, okay, that's the error, missing a semicolon. Okay, so it's giving me 192.168.199. That's twice. Okay, I don't want to copy. I want to concatenate these 2 strings. So I'm joining this string to cmping. Java makes it easier by using the plus sign. So let's do that again. And there we go. So we've got the first ping output from here, and we've got the second ping from there. So what we want to do is to call this function, this command line. So we'll just use the system tool again, because this time we're just gonna call it, and that's fine because we don't need the output. Okay, there we go. So our C program now calls that